All right, so I went to just go use the bathroom and my phone wasn't working. So I ended up grabbing this book and I opened to this, Four Mantras, and I have to share. It's one of the coolest things I think I've ever read. I was like, I've got to share this. So it's called Four Mantras. This is the Thich's book. Thich Nhat Hanh. In Buddhism, we talk about mantras. A mantra is a magic formula that once it is uttered can entirely change a situation, our mind, our body, or a person. But this magic formula must be spoken in a state of concentration. That is to say, a state in which body and mind are absolutely in a state of unity. What you say then in this state of being becomes a mantra. Alignment. So I'm going to present to you four very effective mantras, not in Sanskrit or Tibetan, but in English. The first mantra is, Dear One, I am here for you. Perhaps this evening you'll try for a few minutes to practice mindful breathing in order to bring your body and mind together. You will approach the person you love, and with this mindfulness, with this concentration, you will look into his or her eyes and you will begin to utter this formula, Dear One, I am really here for you. How beautiful is that? You must say that with your body and with your mind at the same time, and then you will see the transformation. To be there is the first step, and recognizing the presence of the other is the second step. To love is to recognize. To be loved is to be recognized by the other. If you love someone and you continue to ignore his or her presence, this is not true love. How many of us have experienced this, where people say they love us and then we feel ignored, or they ignore our feelings? Perhaps your intention is not to ignore this person, and I do believe everyone has the best of intentions. But the way you act, look, and speak does not manifest the desire to recognize the presence of the other. Perfectly put. When we are loved, we wish the other to recognize our presence. Right? We don't need someone to agree with us, just see us. When we are loved, we wish the other to recognize our presence, and this is a very important practice. We must do whatever is necessary to be able to do this. Recognize the presence of the person you love several times each day. It's a way to get around, increase gratitude, get around taking each other for granted, just noticing how grateful we are that someone's there, noticing them and saying, Dear One, I'm really here for you. To attain this goal, it's also necessary to practice oneness of body and mind. Practice an in-breath and an out-breath 3 times, 5 times, 7 times. Then you approach this person. You look at him or her mindfully with a smile, and you begin to say the second mantra. Dear One, I know that you are here, and it makes me very happy. If you practice in this way with a lot of concentration and mindfulness, you will see that this person will open immediately, like a flower blossoming. To be loved is to be recognized. You don't have to be understood, just recognized. And you can do that several times a day. It's not difficult at all, and it is a true meditation. The third mantra is used in circumstances in which the person you love is suffering. When you are living mindfully, you know what is happening in your situation in the present moment. Therefore, it is easy for you to notice when the person you love is suffering. At such a time, you go to him or her with your body and mind unified, with concentration, and you utter the third mantra, Dear One, I know that you are suffering. That is why I'm here. You utter the third mantra, Dear One, I know that you are suffering. That is why I am here for you. Because when we are suffering, we have a strong need for the presence of the person we love. If we are suffering and the man or woman we love ignores us, then we suffer more. And I think so often in partnerships, Maybe someone doesn't know how to be there for the person they love, or they think they have to completely understand or align to be there for them. So they sort of shut down and just ignore the whole situation. And that's when we do suffer more, because we feel alone. And we also feel put down, like there's something wrong with us suffering. But you don't have to do anything other than say, I know you're suffering and I'm here for you. That's why I'm here for you. It's beautiful. So what we can do right away is to manifest our true presence to the beloved person and say the mantra with all of our mindfulness. Dear one, I know that you are suffering. That is why I am here for you. How comforting for all of us to hear, for anyone to hear when they're suffering. Even before you actually do something to help, the person you love is relieved. Your presence is a miracle. Your understanding of his or her pain is a miracle. And again, you don't have to align with why they're feeling pain. It's just that you know that they are. We can be there for each other and empathize in that. Just say, I'm here for you. And you are able to offer this aspect of your love immediately. The fourth mantra is more difficult to practice. This is really brilliant. It has to do with a situation in which you are suffering yourself, and you think that your suffering has been created by the person you love most in the world. If it had been someone else who had said that to you or done that to you, without a doubt, you would be suffering less. But in this case, it is the person I love most in the world who said that to me, who did that to me, and I am suffering more. I am deeply hurt by the fact that my suffering was caused by the person I loved the most. I feel like going to my room, closing the door, staying by myself and crying. I refuse to go to him or her to ask for help. So now it is pride that is the obstacle. So often we think it's hurt, but he nails it here. When someone has hurt you, it's pride that keeps us from going to them. According to the teaching of the Buddha, in true love, there is no place for pride. If you are suffering, every time you are suffering, you must go to the person in question and ask for his or her help. It's revolutionary to think of asking for help from the person who hurts you, but that's how you overcome your pride, and your pride becomes a wall that builds up between the two of you. That is true love. Do not let pride keep you apart. If you think your love for this person is true love, you must overcome your pride. You must always go to him or her. That is why I've invented this mantra for you. Practice so as to bring about oneness of your body and mind before going to the person to say the fourth mantra. Dear one, I am suffering. Please help. He's good. He's real good. And if we could do that in our relationships and with our partners, so we don't go anywhere else but to them and ask for help, we obtain a whole new level of intimacy and connection and true love without